Hello everyone, this is Jenny with craftingwithjenny.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know it's been a while since you've seen a project from me, and so I've been changing a little bit of my setup, got a new tripod, and so I'm trying a bunch of new stuff today. But I hope you like today's project. I wanted it to be a little bit of a wow. So there's a closer look of what we're going to be making today. Now, a lot of the products that I'm going to be using on this card are on the retirement list. So if this is a card that you want to recreate, I suggest you go over to my blog at craftingwithjenny.com and make sure that you take a look at the supplies list and go ahead and order anything that you might need. Okay, for today's card, you're going to need the Flower Shop bundle. So that's going to be the Flower Shop stamp set and the Pansy Punch. You're also going to be needing the A Dozen Thoughts stamp set, and this is one of the stamp sets that is being retired. So has a bunch of cute, really cute sentiments that I think would be a perfect addition to your stamp collection. You're also going to be needing the Berry Basket Bigs die, which is what created this, and I'm going to show you that here in a few minutes, okay? So I'm going to pull everything off here, and we're going to go ahead and start with cardstock. So you are going to need a card base in Night of Navy. You're going to be needing a piece of the English Garden Designer Series paper, which is retiring paper. You're also going to need quite a few pieces of Whisper White and a piece of Mossy Meadow. And again, this is one of the in colors that is sadly retiring, so you want to be sure to get your hands on it if you do want it. Okay, and then your ink, you're only going to be using one color of ink today, and that is Night of Navy. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to pull in the Big Shot. And I'm going to put that here. And you're also going to want to put down one of your plates. Now this is the Bigs die that we're going to be using, the Berry Basket. You can see mine is well loved. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is take a piece of that Mossy Meadow, just like that. And you're going to take a small piece of Whisper White and put it down like that. Go ahead and put it in your Big Shot. Complete your sandwich. You can really tell that I love my Big Shot with that plate. Alright, and you're going to go ahead and send this through your Big Shot. Now, if I didn't say already, all the dimensions and supplies are going to be listed on my blog, so I'm not going to include any of those here in the video. But if you go and search for Berry Basket, or the blog post, I believe the title is going to be Berry Basket of Flowers. So you can just search for that in the search bar that's located at the top of my blog. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this down because we don't need it. Alright, and we're going to build this first because I think that's the easiest part. Now you'll see that there is a score line right about here. I'm just going to bring my bone folder in and we're going to crisp up those lines. Okay, now I wanted to give my berry box the illusion of dimension, and so I don't know if you can see, but it stands up a little bit off the card because I wanted to be able to show you how to give it a little bit of dimension so that if you wanted to stick something inside of the box, you would be able to do so. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. You can use your Stampin' Trimmer if you prefer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up that score mark that's already been made in one of the grooves. And then you'll see the groove is right here. So that very next groove, I'm going to go ahead and score it. All right, and that's all we're going to need that for, so I'm going to move it aside. Now, you'll see there's the score mark and then the score mark we just made. So I like to take my bone folder and tuck it up against that new score mark that we've made and kind of help it along. And then I'm going to crisp it up. There we go. So there you go. It has a little bit of dimension. Okay, now I'm going to bring in this piece that we made and we're just going to decorate the top. And what I found was easier is if you go ahead and put half a scallop on each side, it measures correctly. And then I'm going to make sure that it's up here at the top. And then I am going to bring in my handheld stapler. Now I do love this stapler, but if you don't have it, just go ahead and glue it down. It's no big deal. All right. I'm going to do that there. So see, there you go. And then I'm going to do another one right there. So perfect. Then you're going to fold these over. I wanted to give it a little bit of overhang so that it did actually look like it wrapped around the box itself. So then go ahead and get your Tombow glue out, and you're just going to put a little bit behind, a little drop there, a little drop there. Keep that glue open because you're going to need it in a few. Now I'm just going to hold these a minute, and you know what, as that's drying, now we want to put some dimensionals, and there's going to be 2 layers of dimensionals, but I kind of wanted to show you what I did. So a bunch of us have these empty sheets of dimensionals left over. I don't know about you, but I have a ton of them. So this was perfect. So the straight edge down here, all I'm gonna do is cut that off. So these ones are perfect if you have a little sentiment that you want to put down. These other ones are perfect if you want to do a shaker card of some kind. So don't ever throw these away. There's plenty of things to use these for. So I go ahead and stack those 2, if I can get it to cooperate. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cut that in half. All right. Now, you're going to peel off one side. And you're just going to put it towards the edge. I'm going to take off the other side so I can stick it down. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to do the next side. Now I've seen a couple very cute cards that use something similar to what I'm doing, and they've put like a package of seeds for the garden, which is a super cute idea, and you could use the basics of this card to do exactly that. I haven't seen any videos that showed you quite how to do it, so I thought it would be something good to show you guys. Okay, so you're going to take your scissors and just clean up those edges, and then you're going to go ahead and put together your little box here. Now there's one side and then the other side. So there you go. super easy. I think it'd be super cute too if you hid a little gift card in there. So many ideas with this one. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Okay, so now that we have that box put together, I'm kind of going to set that aside. And I am going to bring in one of my pieces of Whisper White. And we're going to go ahead and stamp our flowers. That way we can get all of our stamping done, all of our punching done, and then we can put together the card. Okay, so I'm going to be needing 3 flowers here. So let me stamp those out for you. Now there's a lot of tips online how to line up your stamped images, especially because this punch isn't symmetrical. So as you can see, I've made a little mark on my stamp of where to line up the bottom of the punch. So I'm sure you can Google that and you'll be able to find it. So I am going to set aside the ink pad for now. I'm going to bring in that pansy punch and let's punch these out. Okay, and I find it's helpful once you get a little bit of the punch where you want, just press down a little bit and it kind of holds it where it needs to be. So there's one. Let's do another one here. Now you probably have noticed that I've used this Flower Shop stamp set and punch on a few of my cards lately because it's actually a stamp set that I rediscovered after a while. So for a long time I used it and then I kind of put it away and didn't really think about it again. So I'm glad we've reunited. Okay, so here we go. Next, you're going to want to stamp your sentiment. And we're using the Just Because. So all you're going to want to do here, ink it up. You can use a Stamp-A-Majig if you want to get this lined up, but we're just going to wing it. Perfect. Okay, let's close up this ink. Just because it's a really dark ink and I just have a habit of putting my fingers into it or knocking it on the floor, and we don't want that today. So once it dries, you're going to go ahead and bring in your paper snips and you're just going to make a banner. So cut in from the middle, both sides, and then you're just going to cut the tail out. Oops. I didn't cut that one enough. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing over here. Okay, so now you got that all done. Let's set this stuff aside and let's bring in our card base. So as I said, the card base matches the ink, so it's going to be your Night of Navy. And then your piece of, I believe it's the English garden paper. And I just wanted to show you, isn't the opposite side of the paper just beautiful? It was really hard to use this paper. I find that I hoard very pretty paper, so I wanted to be sure that I used it before it went away. So go ahead and take your Tombow out. I like to use the Tombow for this one just because it gives me some wiggle room. It's very beginner friendly. And so I am going to just pop this down. I tell you what, it takes a little bit of practice to get that paper lined up. So might as well use some Tombow glue and just make sure that it gets down right where you need to. And especially when you get down to putting the basket, you want a stronger adhesive, and I don't think snail would actually hold it as well. So go ahead with your Tombow or your Terran tape. I think would work just fine, but because I have the Tombow out, we're just gonna go ahead and use it. Just like that. And then, I don't know, I always turn my stuff sideways when I want to put something down so I can kind of see if it's lined up. And then I go ahead and lift it up, kind of eyeball it. Doesn't need to be perfectly straight, but straight is good. And then I'm going to take my bone folder, kind of put it inside that box, and kind of press it down a little bit. Kind of encourage that bond to form. And then make sure you didn't tilt it, because sometimes you get a little too vigorous with the bone folder and, you know, kind of moves around. So there we go. See? And even this would be just perfect. Slide something in, put a little sentiment here, just perfect, especially for Mother's Day. I can't wait. I'll probably make one for my mom this year. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our sentiment on. You could use the Tombow or you could use the snail. I happen to have the snail handy, so I'm going to use my snail. All right. And I'm just going to line it up where I think it looks the best. I kind of press it down in the middle and then I kind of hold it up to see if I need to just move it around a minute or a little bit, and then there you go. Okay, now for the dimensionals, or for the flowers, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals, and the two in the bottom are actually going to be two dimensionals on top of one another. I'm only going to use two here, but feel free to use however many you'd like. And the one that's going to go here in the back is actually just going to be one dimensional. So it's going to look like so. And before I actually stick things down, I kind of like to see where it's going to be. Now I think something that would be really cool is if maybe you put these up on 3 dimensionals, and then it'd probably overhang the basket a little bit, which would be really cute as well. So just play around with it, see what you like, because there's no right or wrong way to put this card together. We just want to have fun while we're doing it. So we just want something pretty when we're finished and something we'd be proud to give to somebody else. Okay, and here's the next one. Just one dimensional. If I can get the dimensional paper off. And then you're just going to kind of tuck that in where you see fit. All right. Maybe a little bit higher. Okay. And you know what? That card is perfect just the way it is. But for this one, you know, it's got a little bit more shine and a little bit more flash. And if you're going to be mailing this one, I think you'd probably stick with this one. Maybe some of the jeweled rhinestones I think would be really pretty in the middle of those flowers. Or you can leave it plain. Or you can do what I did and add some buttons. It is going to pop up you're going to need an envelope, maybe a bubble envelope or something, so that those beautiful buttons don't come off in the mail. But I'm going to show you what I used. So I used the Designer Vintage Faceted Buttons, and they are clear. And you know, I can't really remember if these ones are on the retirement list or not. But as you'll see, there is a few different sizes. I think 3 different sizes. And those are the 3 different sizes. Now, you could use the smaller ones and they'd be super cute. But for the ones that I did, I actually used the middle-sized ones. And I'm not sure if I have enough to do another card, but oh, I do actually. Perfect. Okay, so then you're going to want to bring in some of your baker's twine right here and just cut off a piece. I'm going to bring those paper snips. Now, if you don't have a pair of these snips, you should get some. I love them. My husband loves them. He tries to steal them all the time, so I think it's pretty funny. All right, and this baker's twine is perfect because see, it goes right through the hole. And all you're going to do is get that, pull that baker's twine through the button, just like so. Hope you can see that. And then you are just going to do a bow. And you know, sometimes it's just easier. Just make a big bow and then mess with it. That's what I do. See, my bow's big. I know I'm not going to use it that size, but that's okay. Just go ahead and pull it down. So see, just like that, snip off the ends, grab your mini glue dots, and just go ahead and attach them to the card. So that's a look at today's card. I hope you really enjoy it, and I hope you make one or 20. All right, and don't forget, dress up your envelope. I did a little bit of the flower in the corner, or you could always do some flowers across the lip of the envelope. It would be super cute, okay? Now, if you have any questions on this card or how to make it, feel free to go ahead and contact me. Go ahead and visit my blog at craftingwithjenny.com. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. And if you'd like to request a catalog, you guessed it, just go ahead and go over to my blog and you'll find a link for that as well. I hope you enjoyed this project today. Take care. Bye-bye.